Hello, everybody, and welcome to today's album review. Today, we're going to be reviewing Brainspin by Hearts at War. So this was requested. Let me just quickly share the screen so I can show you. Brett, can you see that?
Yeah.
So album request, something a bit out of the ordinary. I would love if you could check out Brainspin by Hearts at War. Very, very unknown punk rock, which is why I can't find them on Wikipedia. But in my opinion, some very quality stuff, somewhat similar to Green Day. It's a concept album with a continuous story and in English too. This is requested by Cop Floss, one of our regular requesters for German rap music and stuff. So he's going for something different here. Brett, what are you thinking? First of all.
Yeah, this is definitely sort of a little bit of a curveball to the mix there. Like the fact it's going to be in English. We obviously haven't. I don't think we've done any punk rock on our thing. I think closest was probably back one of our early reviews when we did Weezer, which that's not even really punk rock. I think that was like geek rock, wasn't it, or something? But yeah, again, it'd be interesting. That was part of German music that we haven't seen or tapped before. So that's a different genre as well. In fact, it's going to be in English. I put my trust in the review. I think things we might enjoy it. And in fact, it's a concept album, so it might be sort of running theme throughout potentially. So yeah, as always, as I do with me, not putting my hopes up really high or really low. I'm going to still keep them absolutely neutral. But yeah, I'm intrigued with this one. So this could be, again, it's definitely more something that I would probably more likely listen to potentially in some regards. Don't mind a bit of Green Day, not a lot of their stuff, a bit of their stuff. So yeah, let's see what Brainspin brings.
Yeah, I mean, you're right. Probably maybe more your type of thing. But what intrigues me with this is that he says it's similar to Green Day. And I do actually quite like Green Day, at least some of their more sort of commercialized stuff. Also Blink 182 I quite like as well. So yeah, I'm quite interested to kind of know what this is going to be like. I'm just happy that it's something different, like you say, it's something we haven't listened to or reviewed on this channel. So yeah, I'm quite happy that we've got this. Let me just quickly show you the album. So it's only 37 minutes long, relatively short. Got 12 tracks on there, so they're pretty short tracks, although it's a continuous story. So yeah, and there's not really too much we can take from that, I guess, but yeah, I'm quite looking forward to it. So I guess you are as well.
Yeah, I just saw it was the year from 2014, so not too old either. Yeah, let's give it a whirl.
Yeah, so we're going to go off now and listen to it, and we will tell you exactly what we think of it right about go. So we've now listened to Brainspin by Hearts of War, and I think it's probably my turn to go first with my thoughts on it. So yeah, I would say it's kind of like pretty standard punk rock, a rather solid album without any spectacular songs. Perhaps the songs at the start of the album were better than the ones that we heard later on, or possibly I was just kind of getting a bit tired of it because it did kind of sound quite similar for the most part. Could listen to the album again. You know, like if I was driving or something and it was on, I wouldn't mind listening to it. Yeah, it's quite upbeat. I don't actually mind this genre. You know, I am partial to a bit of Green Day, Blink 182. It's probably really kind of only kind of sort of what you could class as a rock genre that I'm actually have any kind of interest in, I suppose. In terms of negatives, though, this might seem a little bit picky, even a little bit racist. I wasn't particularly keen on the accent. Now, there's not much information about Hearts at War. They're not on Wikipedia, so they're obviously not a very big, well, not a particularly well-known band, as was mentioned in the comments. But he sounds like his accent isn't a native English speaker. And there's nothing wrong with that, but I don't know, with this type of music, like this type of music reminds me of my teenage years, kind of. It just sounds, it's a very, what I would class as very American genre of music, this sort of punk rock with this kind of style. Or at least that's what I associated with, probably because of Green Day, Blink-182. So I kind of need an American accent. Like, even if it was a British accent, like from my own country, it still wouldn't sound right. I don't know. I kind of felt it was missing that kind of American accent, but maybe I'm just being overcritical. So yeah, overall, it was all right. I didn't mind it. It's been a long time since I've listened to this sort of genre, so it was kind of nice to listen to it and, you know, enjoy it to a relative degree. So Brett, over to you.
Yeah, I really haven't got that much much to say on it. I mean, it screams Green Day, like from the start right to the end. And I mean, I'm not a massive Green Day fan, I don't know a lot of Green Day stuff, but the little stuff I do know of it, it's so much similarities to it there. And I agree with you saying that with this type of genre of music, very American. I think with those American teen movies as well, this kind of music, it just screams America. But yeah, the voice didn't sort of bother it to me. And I think like you, yeah, the start, yeah, still enjoying it. And even though the songs were slightly different, I think overall, in the grand scheme of things, it was quite repetitive. It was very much sort of the same by the time we got to the end of it. Now, obviously, we're going to be mainly talking about the music and stuff, but as a concept of an album, I really like it. The songs are short, and I can't remember if it was from the comment, but obviously find out then, obviously this album is a whole story. So sort of telling the whole story, or whatever, which I thought was obviously quite, they're not the first band to do something like that. But for this one, it felt a little bit different there. And then there was a nice little twist at the end, which we'll hopefully discuss at the end. But otherwise, yeah, listen, if you like Green Day, you'll like this. It's very punk rock. As I said, it could be a bit more variation with the songs. There's a couple I didn't mind. Would I listen to it again? Yes. Did it blow me away? No. Was there any standout songs? No. But was there a couple of songs I quite liked from it? Yes. So that's really how I can sum it up in my ways, really.
The one thing that annoys me, we've talked about this before, I don't seem to have this ability to listen, like understand lyrics of songs, even if it's in my own language like this. So even though it's telling a story, because I didn't look at the lyrics of each song, I have no idea what the story is. I just can't pick out here. My ears don't work like that. I don't know. My brain doesn't work like that. I couldn't tell you what on earth this story was about. So what about you? Did you were able to?
No, yeah, we've talked about this before. I'm exactly saying that. Actually, if I hadn't seen some of the lyrics or looked at some of the titles, I wouldn't know. But I was also trying to get a feel of. I mean, it was only, to be honest, I'm saying this. There's only one song that really had a different sort of feel to it, which you could probably get what it may have been about part of the story. But yeah, if I hadn't looked up some of the lyrics or got an idea, I wouldn't have just been able to listen to it and hear the story without maybe listening to it 2 or 3 times and to really sort of try and pick it out. But like I said, we're doing this for the music side of things. So that's what I was kind of listening to first. But if I was going to listen to it again, then maybe I could just try and concentrate more on the lyrics and try and pick things out. But I think even then, I would still struggle to get, because it's not exactly going to be going once upon a time. It's still, there's still verses, there's still chorus, it's still like poetry. It's still, you still have to then try and analyze it and try and make out what they're trying to say.
But there must be a lot of people out there that can listen and understand, lyrics, right? We're just not those people, which probably makes us not very good music. Anyway, So, first song, Ryan. Oh, by the way, I'd love to know where this band come from, because I can't find any information about them. I'm guessing possibly Germany, just because the guy who requested it possibly from Germany, because he's the guy that has
Yes.
been sort of recommending us German rap and stuff. I don't know, but it sounds like it's from somewhere in Europe.
Yeah, that's the only thing we can go on, really. So again, if anyone's watching this and they do know, please feel free to let us know. We'd like to know more about them, really.
So Ryan Ben Obey, first song, quite like the style of it, Green Day style. As I said in my introduction, that it was just kind of nice to listen to this kind of style of music again. It's been a long time since I've heard anything like this before. Good instrumentals, good sort of solid start to the album, really.
Yeah, good, solid opening start to the album. I've written the same thing. I've written here, Green Day, exclamation mark. And I think as I've got through more of the songs, I know you've probably picked up the accent a little bit more, but if I had to close my eyes and a Green song played and Hearts of War song played, I'd probably struggle to tell the difference, really. So Pepsi and Coke, some people can really do it. I probably might struggle to do that. So it definitely influenced the Green Day side of things. Nice to hear it in English. Nice upbeat start. And this is our sort of introduction. I haven't got much on the actual story itself, but this is a story about Ryan, who we're going to learn about throughout the album. So I'll try and give a little bit of what I know from it as we go along.
Please do. Next up was 7:30. Perhaps not quite as good as the previous song, but still not bad. It actually kind of grew on me as the song went on. So maybe it was just as good as the first one. Can't make out the accent. Obviously, what I talked about in the introduction. American style song, but the accent doesn't seem American, as I mentioned earlier. Like, is it German? I don't know. But nice instrumentals again. And actually, in the end, it was actually an all right song, this one.
Yeah, I slightly preferred this to the first one, just because it was a little bit slower, so it didn't feel as intense there. And again, I've just written the same thing, very Green Day. I've written the song here, Basket Case of Green Day. I said I don't know many songs of Green Day, so very slim pickings. But Basket Case, one of their main songs, again, just a lot of similarities to that there, really. Good, felt like a good sort of catchy chorus, even though I couldn't remember it now. But another just standard song, just a little bit slower than the first one. Prefer it.
And in terms of the story, got any updates?
This one I don't think I've got anything on this one. On this part of the story, so apologies on that bit there.
Okay, so the next one was Black Heart. This was a slower song, but the song really came alive during the chorus. I put down fairly decent, but when I kind of compare it to the whole album in the end, because it's only the third song, maybe this one was actually pretty good.
Yeah, I like this one as well. I put a little tick next to this one. Again, we've got a little bit slower again, and you felt like there's probably a deeper meaning to it, which I think this is when we're starting to find out he's maybe suffering from depression. So his mood is sort of changing a little bit there. This has been my favourite so far. Again, really nice. Again, really big influence from Green Day. I think I've put in here like the Boulevard of Broken Dreams. So this is like later Green Day. So the same sort of thing, slower, has a bit more meaning to the song, really.
Then we had Ryan's Lament, a kind of ballad style. Accent, again, is a bit strange. I like the last line of the song, like the very ending of the song. It was a kind of just on sort of guitar, slow guitar kind of spoken part.
Yeah, I've actually written the band here, Weezer, who we've actually reviewed as well. Because again, it had that sort of geeky punk rock sort of feel to it there, so it didn't feel as rocky as before. Again, it still felt quite similar to some of the previous songs. I said just sort of at a different tempo there. And again, I haven't actually got about the meaning of this part of the song just yet.
Then we had Halcyon Nights. Short, rocky, and not as good for me, this one.
So this was, I felt like a really, really short song. It was almost finished by the time I sort of put my notes down here. So I did a bit of research. So this is in reference to a drug, so drug like Valium, which is like an anxiety antidepressant type of drug. So what I discovered is that Ryan was a bit of a typical teenager, doesn't really listen, lives life as he wants to, but somehow something bad happens, goes into full depression, and this is sort of what we're seeing start here. So again, sort of fell out with the song with the tempo over there, and yeah, we'll see sort of what happens on from there.
Next up, we had Crush. Kind of struggling for notes here because it's all kind of relatively similar. Quite fast and upbeat, not bad.
Yeah, again, it's felt like back to sort of the earlier songs on the album. Again, I should say they're still enjoyable to listen to, but I think they're just very similar to what we've been listening to already. You can probably guess from the title, Crush. So this is now, he thinks he's fallen in love or likes a girl that he's seen. And that's what he's sort of talking about from there. But otherwise, again, a good, short, listenable, upbeat song.
And we had Big Company Road. I quite like this. That was kind of all that came to mind when I was listening to it. I was kind of struggling to write notes about it. So that's all I ended up with. But yeah, quite liked it.
Yeah, again, very similar to some of the others we've done already there. Again, I didn't quite get the meaning of this one here. I couldn't remember if there was reference to drugs again in this one. I think I've written a line from it here. Place he went to be, get rid of the old, then it's uphill. So yeah, I think again he's fallen in love with this girl, and now again I think soon we're going to find out she's going to break his heart or not quite working out, and he's going to have a sort of effect from this here, and sort of a reference to the road that he's meant to be on. Again, as a song, posting we've done already, all right to listen to.
We had Ashes to Ashes. It was okay. Just another typical song from the album. Nothing really that really came to mind with this one.
Yeah, I quite like this one. I think again it had that sort of different tempo to it. It felt a little bit different. So now we're going beyond the sort of depression side of things. Now he's having sort of more suicidal thoughts, talking about death as well, and the title Ashes to Ashes. So yeah, taking a bit of a really nasty turn now for young Ryan.
You know what I'd like to see though with this kind of music, because it's telling a story. I'd like to see a little bit more variation in the songs, because, for example, for me, for someone who was listening to the whole album without actually following the story, understanding the story, I wouldn't have known that kind of there's all these different emotions going on. It didn't feel like that. Does that make sense? It all kind of just kind of felt very similar, same sort of tempo generally throughout. There were some slower ones at the beginning, particularly, but there was nothing there to give it away that's kind of a difference in emotions, like good happy stuff, drug related stuff. I don't know. That's kind of my kind of feeling.
No, totally agree. Like I said, Black Heart sort of had where we got the slowest it was going to get to. Yeah. And I agree with you. I think stuff like this to be really distinctive, because it can still be punk rock and still be very distinct. I know Blink-182 did a whole array, even Green Day have done a whole array of different style of songs. So for what they're really trying to tell, definitely want some more variation. That's sort of what I said from the start. And I think it would help the concept of the album as well. But I say if you like that style of music they're doing, then and you understand the lyrics, then you probably get from something from there. But I'm like you, I think real distinctive, different style and genres would not genres, different style of music, not different style of music, almost more differentials to the songs would help it a lot.
Next up was A Confession. Not as good as the others is all I've put. It was all right, but just maybe didn't enjoy this one quite as much.
Yeah, again, very sort of slow song here. So I've put here because I did look at some of the lyrics. So my name is Ryan Obey, and I'm here. I'm not okay. All I ever do is smoke and masturbate in my room. So real sort of punk rock sort of what I would call punk rock sort of lyrics. to it there. But like I said, it's a real sort of dark turn that he's, had to put his confession down because he might be doing something he probably shouldn't do. I'm not talking about the smoking and the masturbating, but more to himself later on.
Then we had Blood and Blisters. So maybe I'm kind of getting, maybe without even, just from the title, maybe we're talking here about how he's trying to harm himself, commit suicide perhaps, I don't know. Brett will tell me in a second. So this is the only long song on the album. It was over 6 minutes. As an actual song, I wasn't so keen on it. I just kind of never really got into it. But it still could have been worse.
It's probably the best way to say it. Could have been worse. I quite like the idea of this. Yeah, the longest song on the album, and there was a little bit of difference between different. And I did find out there were meant to be different parts to the song, and you could kind of hear it. But again, I think it was more distinctive. Would be a lot better. And the only trouble I had, it felt a lot longer because the other songs have been so short. This felt almost too long, even though actually if it was in a normal album, it probably would have felt okay. But because the others have been so short, this felt a bit too long for me. It was all right, definitely nothing wrong with it at all. And like I said, I enjoyed how it did change a little bit. And as you said, yeah, the Blood and Blisters doesn't clearly say, but yeah, it's referenced now. He's done his confession. Now it's sort of having the harming element to it.
Okay, next up we had You Live, You Learn, or You Don't. So this one was loud and upbeat, as usual for most of the album. It's been like that. Just not too bad, this one.
Yeah, so again, sort of like gone back to how it started. It mentions in the song about Ryan's now disappeared. Now, whether that's through just gone away on holiday or just gone away to a different location because he needs to get away from his friends who are sort of bad influences, the girlfriend who broke his heart, or if it's talking more seriously as in he's taken his life, we don't know. It's not very clear, but that's what the song's kind of alluding to. And it's a shame because, again, if it was a different style, you could probably get more of a thing seen as meant to be as powerful as that. You're meant to think what's gone on with Ryan.
Yeah. I always feel that they needed to be a little bit braver, and try something a little bit different with some of these songs. Like, instead of just doing the tried and tested, their same kind of style, just maybe something a little bit out there that would kind of really grab your attention. Wow, kind of wasn't expecting that, and to make it to really show the emotions. See what I mean? Yeah,
exactly. So we had that previous song, which I said was like Boulevard of Broken Dreams, but I mean that wasn't as extreme as good at. And we've always talked about every album listening has always been sort of what I would call the experimental song.
Yeah.
I think the closest maybe was that long one where it had different bits to it because it was a long song. But otherwise, I couldn't tell you. I wouldn't say it was a real experiment. And maybe that's all it needed. Just one or two of those. Like if there's one song that people don't like on the album, that's only 1 out of 12. So I agree with you. Maybe just to be a little bit more risky on that. But if they like what they've done and they've done it, they've done it.
Okay. The last song then was Homegrown. It was like the others, really, an all right song to end things. And the last words of the album were, "So fuck you all."
So no, this is where the first song really should be like the first one. So this is where the twist comes into it. So in the lyrics, it talks about someone called Max. And Max is meant to be just like Ryan, a teenager who doesn't like to listen, not probably treating his life his way he should do. Not taking things for granted and maybe living his life a little bit better with his job and friends and stuff. But I think the twist is whether you think, okay, so is Max actually the son of Ryan, or is it just someone completely different? So I think it's meant to allude that maybe that Max is related or is the son of Ryan who has disappeared. But again, we just don't know. So again, if anyone officially knows and want to let us know, or if Hearts of War are looking at this review and wants to let us know, I'd be more than happy to find out. Or if it's meant to be our own sort of opinion, then I will leave it at that then.
Okay. So summing up, yeah, I didn't mind the album, as I said in the introduction. Nothing special, but I think for me it was just, as I said earlier, just nice to kind of listen to this style of music, you know, sort of, we can call it the Green Day genre. Yeah, it's just been a long time since I've listened to something like this before. Quite enjoyable. So yeah, just a good sort of solid punk rock album. Pretty much it, really. Brett, what did you think of it?
Yeah, again, so what you said there. Again, it's a nice, short, standard, good album. Like I said, if you really like Green Day, I think you're gonna love this album. And again, if you like that particular style of punk rock, then you've got this throughout. As I said before, maybe for me, just needed maybe that little bit of variation from that. But if I had to listen to it again, could easily do so. Definitely anything close to the worst we've listened to. And it did feel good. And agreed, like, probably haven't listened to this sort of genre for a while, so it felt quite nice. So yeah, listen. I'm fair play to Hardwell to do. Like I said, they're not the first ones to do like a whole story within an album, but I like the way they sort of had done it. Whereas I think there was meant to be a real clear story. Just needs that tiny bit of variation. But yeah, good solid album from them.
I actually think it, in some respects, albums generally should tell a whole story. That kind of, rather than just have kind of mixed songs. I actually think that's kind of makes sense, doesn't it, really, when you think about it? If you have an album, then because when you read a book has a story, right? It goes from, you start from the first page, you read it through to the end, it has a story. You watch a film, starts from the beginning, you watch it through to the end. So I think that we need to see more of this in music. Really? See what I mean?
Yeah, and I think there's a lot of places that probably do stuff like that, and so it is quite hard probably to properly do something like that. Because again, I think the difference being with compared to a book or movie, with at least with an album, you can jump to track 5 and just listen to track 5, or start at the end. Whilst with a movie or book, you don't really just pick a book and just read one chapter randomly from there, really. But I take what you're saying, and yeah, maybe albums could do more like that. But that's the difference being you can easily just pick and choose songs you would like to listen to.
But you can still tell the story, and then you just pick. Then when you just want to listen to the song you like, you just pick the one you like, and it's just part of the story. Yeah. All right. So that's it. Thanks for watching. We are having a 100 subscriber special Q&A. If you haven't asked us a question yet, now is your chance to do so. And we will do our best to answer the question in the Q&A, which I'm sure is coming very, very, very soon. And well, if you're not subscribed, make sure you are, please. Why wouldn't you be? Oh yeah, if you want to request an album, then please do. And we will happily go ahead and listen to it. So thanks for watching, and goodbye.